girlfriend. Hey, Pookie Butt. So, welcome back to my channel looking for a sign. All right, so I was asking Spirit, what does the collective need to know right now? Okay, I got to shuffling, started channeling, and got real excited. Okay. So if this message resonates with you, let me know down in the comments. We are going to have a part 2 to this, okay? It's going to be available on my Patreon. If you don't want to become a Patreon member, I am going to have this for individual sale. If you just want just this extended, you don't want access to all the extendeds, because, you know, people like options, right? Okay, so in this read, we're going to discuss questions, what this shift is and why it's happening. In the extended, we're going to ask, what are the next steps? What plays out after those steps and any type of advice, okay? So if that sounds like your cup of tea, awesome. I do have a new deck and I have the book just in case, you know, if I need it. But I don't know, I felt really, really guided to use this new deck. Okay. All right, okay. All right, anyway. So the cards that came out, we have Serendipity. We have Building Blocks. And we have Chop Wood. All right. And I love this so far. So Serendipity talks about signs, okay? Signs, synchronicities that basically are letting you know that, you know, you have good luck, good fortune. You're on the right path, okay? When I was like in meditation, I was getting an energy of, for a lot of you guys, you're waking up to whatever your purpose is, okay? There is something that you have gone through that whatever it is, okay, whatever you learned about it, whatever it's connected to, it might not be your purpose directly, but it's connected to your purpose or how you show up in the world or what you're supposed to grow or gain from it because it is connected to your purpose in some way. Okay, so with Serendipity, I was getting that there's some type of signs and synchronicities that are letting you know this is not just a regular heartbreak. This is not just a regular transformation. This is not just a regular awakening. You could have gone through tons of awakenings, but there's something different about this particular awakening. Spirit, why is Serendipity here? The perfect sandwich. Oops, that's way too many. I'm hearing that's way too many too. I only need one at a time. When I can't speak for other people, but for me, when my cards jump out like that, that lets me know like Spirit's like very talkative tonight. So if I talk too fast for you, my fault. Okay, now we're getting somewhere. We have perfect sandwich and storm and mystery. What the heck is a perfect sandwich? I'm already getting customized. I don't know why I just heard customize. But we about to find out. The perfect sandwich. What is it? Sandwich? Where is it? Oh, should be with peas for perfect. I'm trying to look up sandwich. The perfect sandwich, deep satisfaction, literal or figuratively nourishment, ideal or better than can be imagined, the end all to be all, the last word on the matter, the epitome of something, a paragon of greatness. That's interesting. So it is something that has, well, I mean, that kind of resonates with what I was saying earlier, of you realizing that it is something that is connected to your purpose. So whatever this is, these are signs that give nourishment. These are signs that you're realizing that whatever you went through, that this is something that's going to turn out better than you could have expected. Like I said before, this is not just a normal awakening. It's not like the other awakenings. There's something different about this one. So, okay, that still resonates with that. And then storm, turbulent turmoil, a sudden outburst, intense conditions. And that still resonates with what I picked up with whatever the spiritual awakening is, or whatever, betrayal or whatever you just gone through. There's something about it that is just different than the other ones that you've gone through. Either the lesson that you learned, the aha moments that have been connected to it. And then we have mystery. A puzzle or an enigma, searching for clues, putting the pieces together. The unknown is now knowable, hiding one's tracks. It hidden inner workings, a certain mystique, clear as mud, a person or unclear motive. So again, the cards are resonating with what I picked up, that you guys are picking up. Some type of signs or synchronicities. I'm seeing 000, 999, and 222 right now, and 555. Okay, you could be picking 717. And something, numbers that end in 13. That's really random and weird, but whatever. I'm also seeing 7, okay? So that the cards are resonating with what I picked up, that you guys are realizing that there's something different this time with whatever storm or whatever betrayal or whatever turbulent circumstances that you've come out of, okay? You're starting to feel a different type of alignment with it, especially here with Perfect Sandwich, the way it's nourishing you, the way that it's showing up for you. It is better than you could have expected, because there is something different that you're getting from this particular tower moment that you've just gone through. All right. All right, with serendipity, tell me more. Why is this shift happening? Fear. Ooh, they said clarify. Fear, are you kidding? Why is this shift happening? I literally got fear and victory. This is definitely going to be your message if you notice that whatever tower moment that you've just experienced, the way that you showed up at the end was differently. Because I'm immediately getting how you used to deal with certain tower moments, rather they were breakups, rather they were disappointments, rather they were betrayals. However you used to deal with them, this time, there wasn't a fear that you were going to make the same decision. There was just a sense of like, I know exactly what to do. There's a sense of being in your power. There's a sense of owning it. I cannot explain this enough. Please put hearts down in the comments if this resonates with you. There is such a strong sense of there's something different about this tower moment. Yes, I've gone through betrayals. Yes, I've been lied to. I've lost my job before. I've gone through transformations before. But there's something different about this one. It feels different. It feels more in alignment. The way I'm showing up or the way I handled it felt very much like more like a teacher than it did a student. Like, I don't know how else to explain that. All right, we got building blocks, okay? Why is this shift happening? So with building blocks here, 28 is the number of wealth. In numerology, it's also the number of leadership, okay? Because it breaks down to a 10, which breaks down to a 1, all right? So with building blocks is a number of building legacy, building a foundation. However, in this deck is that these cards come from is the Wisdom of the Oracle deck, okay? This card is asking you, though, how you're building your legacy and how you're building the stable foundation. Who are you building it with? Who are the kind of people that are around you? Do they align with your morals and with your values? Are your morals and values changing? How are the connections around you changing? How are the people and the things and the environment that you are building this legacy in? I am strongly picking up that there is a big shift with how you look at certain people in your lives. You may be realizing that the group of people you may have felt like were your ultimate soul tribe, you're realizing now they were only here for a season. I do not feel like I resonate with them for the long haul. I feel like I feel like I'm outgrowing this group. People that you may have thought were lifelong, in your life, lifelong soulmates, they're karmic soulmates. Karmics can be good or bad. These are just people that you're learning from, right? Or learning lessons through. I'm getting that you're not so much that your morals and values are changing as far as your integrity, but I'm seeing morals and values as far as what you hold sacred, what you're willing to sacrifice to build your legacy, what you're not willing to sacrifice. You may have been willing to sacrifice time in the past, where, you know what? If you want to build something that's rock solid, you have to be willing to put time in, and you have to be willing to sacrifice time. That may be changing. And you may be feeling like, you know what? When you're in alignment with your true legacy and with your true purpose, yeah, you're going to sacrifice things, but I actually think that I want to spend more time with my family and the people that matter to me. I still feel like, you should be able to sacrifice time, but not in the same way before. Now I may feel like, time is more sacred than it was before. Now, yeah, I understand that I may have to sacrifice time, but now I'm a lot more choosy on who I'm willing to sacrifice it for and on. You see what I'm saying? So now the people that you may have resonated with that just felt like, hey, that's just what you got to do. You just got to sacrifice time. Now you may be like, you know what? I don't 100% feel that way. Now I resonate with the people that say, I'm willing to sacrifice time in the morning, but I'm not willing to sacrifice that time at night with my family. So, I may, want to sacrifice time that I used to spend, alone to recuperate, but I'm not willing to sacrifice bedtime stories and movies and things on the weekend. And now, and that's just an example, okay? This could be anything. This could be work. This could be in love, okay? You may have at one time felt like, you know what? Everything in life is worth, anything that's worth fighting for, like love is worth fighting for, right? That may change. And you may feel like, you know what? Love is not worth fighting for. You know what's worth fighting for? A love that someone else is also willing to fight with me for. I'm no longer willing to fight for a love just because I know what we can be, just because we have a spiritual connection and I feel it. I'm no longer willing to fight for or in a connection where the other person does not recognize or realize what I do. If they don't feel like it's worth fighting for, I am no longer willing to fight for the both of us or heal for the both of us. So there's something here where there is a sense of building a legacy or building something, but how you're viewing something is different. And it feels like it's causing you to look at the people around you in a different light too. Not a negative light, but it's almost just like, yeah, we're still cool, but I just don't think that we're in alignment in the way that I used to think we were. All right. Why are building blocks here? Tell me additional information about building blocks here. Why is this shift happening? Follow that car. These cards are weird. I don't know why Spirit wanted me to use them. I know Spirit wanted me to use them, but I have death in reverse. Difficult truth. Right idea. Why am I already, is anybody else already feeling like this is flowing together? It's like I can feel it. Follow that car in hot pursuit of a goal, taking immediate action, a chase, pursuing of a goal or a truth, possibly one step ahead. And I just said that you guys are looking at something different from the people around you when it comes to building this legacy. So with Follow That Car, you guys are on a path that other people may not be on. And it's like, that's perfectly okay. That's the direction I'm going in. That is where my legacy is at. I used to be in alignment with this, but now I'm in a hot pursuit for a different goal in a different way. I like this. Taking a chance with an uncertain outcome. Yeah, because like I said, your perception of certain values and things, like I said before, may not align with the people that are around you. Like I said, like the examples that I used, but it's feeling really like, but that's where I'm at right now. There's just certain things, I used to feel this way, but now I feel this way, but under certain conditions, or, it depends on, you know what I'm saying? Like I just explained. Okay. So we have death, but it is in reverse. In this deck, death in reverse means a new beginning, birth or rebirth, the start of something vital, flourishing life. Oh my gosh, I love this. Vigorous growth, thriving, expanding, like I just said. So it's building blocks. This is connected to your legacy, okay? It's connected to your purpose. You are ending your ideas and your viewpoints when it comes to one thing, but it's attached to something new. There is a rebirth of ideas, a rebirth of connections and people in your life. I love this for you. It says spring, someone who lights the candle. Yeah. So like I said, I'm already getting an energy of you guys viewing something very different and feeling a calling in a different way than you did before. Okay. And it may not align with the people that you talk to every day or the people in your circle. Give me 1 second. Okay. Sorry about that. Okay. Now we have difficult truth. Difficult truth. Something one would rather not know, the revelation of something unwelcome, unexpected, or ugly, a long told lie undone, long held beliefs challenged. Did you hear that? I'll repeat that. Long held beliefs challenged, a refusal to believe. So again, that literally still backs up what I picked up, that you are building a legacy that is based off of a different viewpoint than what you had before. And then I have bright idea here. Okay. Bright idea. It feels like speaks for itself. A sudden flash of inspiration, a solution, a revelation, a discovery that changes everything, a new way forward, a plan or scheme, a genius. Exactly. I really do feel like, though, you guys really do feel like you're the only person who sees this perception the way that you do. It's almost like when you try to talk about these topics with other people, they're not as open to that view. It really just feels like you are the start of a revolution or something. It's like, and that's why it is part of your legacy and part of your purpose, because some of you, the ones that I'm speaking to, if this connects with you, put hearts down in the chat or tell me, because I love when you guys comment, actually. But it's giving me the energy of that's why it becomes your legacy. That is the reason why it becomes this new foundation, because you are meant to be one of the first people that kind of bring these ideas to social media, or the way that you do something. This could be the way you do something at work. This could be how you show up on social media. This could be you being a generational curse breaker and the way you're showing up in your family. You are forging ahead and you are getting signs from spirit that you are morphing, you are changing, you are ready. You're out of some type of preparation phase and you're into now a phase of action, because anything that you learn that you do not put action behind just becomes knowledge. What use is knowledge if you're not going to use it? So we're in a place now where you are being called to build something, rather it is in your lineage, rather it is in a public space, okay? But you're being called to put this knowledge and these ahas into the forefront in some type of way. Okay, and then we have chopped wood. Chopped wood is about a foundation that has been made and is stable. However, you're being called to not obsess over it. You're being called to take time to smell the roses. You're being called to take time to take a breather. This is where what you've been building starts to become your everyday normal with chopped wood. Chopped wood is the card of stability, where you're not just building. No, you're actually living. This is my everyday normal. This is how I show up in the world. See what I built? I use this in my everyday. Okay. So why this is happening? Because what you've learned a lot. You may be having a lot of aha moments, and you're having a lot of serendipity omens and good omens that are letting you know that, yes, you are feeling what you're supposed to. You are picking up what you're supposed to. And now, okay, Spirit is calling you to put it in your everyday. Putting it in your everyday means you are supposed to be posting about this on social media. You are supposed to be moving this way now in your family unit. Okay, this means that you are supposed to be actively discussing this, in rooms with people you're no longer aligned with, or whatever the case may be. You're supposed to be living now what you've learned or what you're learning. Okay, and it may feel very scary and a little bit intimidating when you really feel like you're one of the only people that kind of feels this way. But what I'm getting here is that this is where you're going to start to find your new soul tribe. This is where you're going to start to find people that it's not necessarily their purpose, but they're supposed to cross paths with you in some shape, form, or fashion, because it's going to make them feel seen. It's going to make them feel heard. It's supposed to spark other ideas. It's really like, you see where I'm going? Okay. So we have chopped wood. What is this shift and why is it happening? Why is chopped wood here? Plot twist. Conflicts. Desire. Ooh. Sudden illness. So we have plot twists. An unexpected event alters everything. New information changes the game. Classic misdirection. Intentional deception. Didn't see that coming. Back from the dead, the person that you least expect. So like I said before, we hear what plot twist. You're supposed to be living in this new information or this new aha or this new foundation that you built. It's going to feel lonely because, or not lonely, but I'm getting an energy of feeling defensive and a little bit of fear, because it is kind of coming off like, for some people, you may be the least person that they would have ever expected had their views changed on certain things or had this certain type of perception. People may really feel like they know you so well for this, and now you're coming with that. So this plot twist is you're actually living this. Just because people talk about something, people talk about stuff all the time, but they don't live what they talk about. We have family members who would tell you, "Ooh, girl, you should do this." And you'd be like, "Okay, but you never did it. So how are you going to tell me to do it and you've never done it? You had the opportunity to do it and you didn't, So this is an energy of especially if you've always come off as the type of person that's always spreading knowledge, okay, but not really kind of living it out loud. This is something you're being called to live out loud because it is part of your purpose. It is part of your awakening or whatever the case may be. So people really are going to see this as a plot twist. They're really going to see this as like, OMG. Looking for signs viewer is they're not tripping. They're not, cosplaying. Like they're really about this life that they're talking about. They really live this point of view that they speak about. I'm also getting an energy of, for some of you guys, if this has to do with manifestation, quantum leaping, timeline jumping, or nervous system regular, or anything like that, this is the part where people may start to see that your surroundings are changing, because it's giving people wanting to find some type of conflict in what you're expressing or what you're saying, but then your surroundings, it's like that there's the plot twist. Like you can't just bypass that. Looking for a signs viewer is actually living this life, and they have proof that their surroundings have changed. Their life has changed a certain way, their eating habits have changed or whatever the case may be. Okay, so we have conflict, which I feel like goes without saying, but whatever. Conflict, the engine of drama, a struggle between two forces, a disagreement, failure to find a common ground, opinions that are at odds, a clash of cultures, war, discord, incompatibility, a fierce argument, duking it out, a perceived enemy. Exactly. Because here's the thing. The moment that you start walking your purpose, and this is why this is happening, this is why this is part of your journey of having to walk in it, because the people that are already ready to say that, see, their view doesn't make any sense, whatever they're on now doesn't make any sense. It doesn't, like, they're just on that conspiracy theory, or they're just throwing stuff out there. I don't understand this new perception of why they feel this way. They're going to become I hate to say this, but it's coming off like they're going to become a hater. They're going to become an enemy. Why? Because the way you're living your life is in alignment with the aha moment that you've gotten, the spiritual awakening that you've gotten, the way that you're talking is aligning with the way that you are moving and the life that you are living. It is going to bring conflict to people because they're not going to be able to find where the loophole of, see, I knew it was BS. See, because it's like, where? Show me where in my life that I am not moving or showing up in this new belief, and it is not working for me. I'm not saying it works for everybody, but there may be people out there that are where I was, and I didn't have anybody to tell me that I wasn't tripping. It was just me and God, me and my spiritual team, me and my ancestors out here praying and meditating. And this is how I showed up, and this is how I move in my life, and this is how my life changed. There's somebody out there right now who's trying to figure out why these things are happening, and that's why, whatever. And these people could be people that were your friends, family, whatever. They're not going to be able to explain why it's not good, why it's not your purpose, why you full of BS, okay? We have desire, a passion, a deep need, burning ambition, compelled by love or lust, a yearning, possibly for the unattainable, a base purpose, a want, attraction, object of one's passion. All right, so listen. With desire, I'm telling you now, the way that you are going to pick up haters, which is obvious, but you're also going to pick up people who want to live the life that you live and want to walk in the purpose that you're walking in, but it's not their purpose. Okay? It's not their purpose. You're also going to run into people that say, well, you're walking in this way, I want to walk in this way too. Okay, but it may not be working for you, because you can't just say you believe this and you move this way. You really have to move this way behind closed doors. Like, you really have to move this way. Okay? So also, like I said before, people are going to start to notice that because you are in alignment with your purpose and you're showing up the way that spirit is asking you to, God is asking you to, your ancestors are asking you to, your desires and your life are aligning because you are walking the walk and talking the talk. And this is going to cause issues for some people. Now, what is sudden illness? What the heck is that about? A disturbance, a disruption or affliction, feeling unwell, stricken, down for the count, getting taken out of the game, the need to discover a cure, unexpected setback or obstacle, a healer needed, a patient. Look, I'm telling you right now, okay? I'm already picking up with this with sudden illness. This is also where certain people in your life are going to start to fall out, okay? Because I'm going to clarify that. I'm already intuitively picking up, you're going to run it. And the reason why this is important is because it may be the very people that they were the last people you would have thought of. Okay. But with sudden illness, like I said, there are people that you're going to connect with that are looking for answers. This is what I have been experiencing, and I don't know what to do with it. This is what has been happening to me, and I don't know what it means. Okay. With sudden illness, I'm not saying you're the end all to be all cure, but the way that you are walking in this new alignment is literally going to be the cure to people that you are connecting with and crossing paths with, because it's literally going to give this energy of everything you're saying that you went through or you were experiencing is exactly what I'm experiencing. And you are giving me hope that this has a purpose, or there's a reason for this, or I can turn this, this fall back into a comeback. But I still get with conflict, you are going to be surprised with certain people that are not ready to walk the walk and talk the talk, that feel a way that you have the discipline and the consistency to show up every day in this energy, and you're really about that life. You're really living that life. Because I'm really picking up, it's an energy of like you were the least person I would have expected to be on some BS, but unfortunately it's what it is. But again, because this is connected to your purpose, or it's connected to being a generational curse breaker, or whatever the case may be, it has a higher purpose. With sudden illness, it is because however you're walking, you're literally the walking proof that this belief or this change or whatever the case is possible and doable. I can't make this up. For sudden illness, I got a 10 of Wands. 10 of Wands talks about feeling burden, okay? It talks about feeling burden. Feeling like you have the weight of the world on your shoulders, okay? I got to cover this up for YouTube. But do you see that? That is the Star card. The Star card literally talks about healing, hope, okay? Manifesting. But more importantly, in this case, it talks about healing. And do you see that? That's a Hierophant. The Hierophant is a teacher, a guru, somebody that has some type of knowledge that they share with others in some shape, form, or fashion. You are meant to walk in your purpose. So this is for you. If you have been experiencing some of these things, why has it been happening? It sounds like you are waking up to parts of your purpose, parts of your legacy, okay? And why it's happening is because it's preparing you to actually walk in this purpose. All right? So we are headed to the extended. In the extended, we are going to find out what are the next steps, and what plays out when you move in those next steps, okay? And any advice that Spirit has for you, okay? If you want to check out the extended, you can do so by following my Patreon, okay? I think it's like Looking for a Collective is the title of that tier, okay? If you do not want to become a Patreon member, you just want to purchase this particular collective extended, you can do that too for individual purpose, okay? So if this was your message, let me know down in the comments. I cannot wait to hear from you, okay? For everybody else, let's head over to the extended.